What's going on, guys? It's Aaron here, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how to run Google Ads during a recession. So at the end of 2022, 2023, it's predicted that we are in a recession or we're going to be in a recession. It doesn't matter for you because you're watching this video and you're going to know how to advertise profitably with Google Ads. So that way, instead of pausing your advertising like most companies do, because usually they lose money on advertising, you can take advantage of the lower cost of advertising that come with a recession. That way you can still gain more customers, gain more revenue, and overall get more profits from your Google Ads overall. So let's get into it. So if you don't know me, my name is Aaron Bogle. I run Google Ads for local businesses. My focus now is mainly home care agency, but I have run, Google Ads for, all different sort of niches. So if you want more Google Ad content so that way you can stay profitable with your Google Ads, no matter the times, good or bad, be sure to hit a like on this video and subscribe. As you can tell, I'm a very small YouTuber still, and every like, every subscribe helps, and I see it every day, and I love you guys all who are already subscribed and all that stuff. So in this campaign, in this example here that I'm going to be showing you guys, I'm going to be showing you guys, what is possible even during a recession. So this is with the first 3 weeks of this campaign. While all this recession's talking, stock market's going down and all that. 21 conversions overall. We haven't spent that much because it's only been 3 weeks, but only $661, so pretty low budget. With a cost per conversion of $31.50. So, paying $31 for a lead that could be worth hundreds of thousands if you keep them for a while, but even only keep them for a month, $800 to $3,000 per month. That's pretty good. Usually, I aim for a cost per conversion of anywhere between $45 and $70. So the very first thing you want to focus on is your keywords. So with Google Ads, I believe the keywords is one of the most important things with your Google Ads. If you're targeting the wrong keywords, it doesn't matter how great your landing page is. So when you're running ads during a recession, you want to be more excruciatingly detailed, I guess, with the keywords that you do have running, because we want to make sure that every dollar that we spend with Google Ads is going towards keywords that can not only bring in conversions, but profitable conversions as well. And yes, this client is making money. A lot of the leads that do call are signing up for this client as well, just in case you're wondering. So if we go into the keywords here, I always optimize for, I don't like, people always like say like, oh, how do I lower my cost per click and all that stuff? I don't care about that. I always optimize for the cost per conversion and make sure that is I always optimize for that first. If that's good, then I look at the search impression share and I see, okay, is there more room for this keyword that we can optimize for, or we can maybe if you're doing manual cost per click, can we increase the bid so that that way we can get more of a search impression and get more of a presence. But thinking about, we're in a recession, we want to make sure our advertising dollars are going to the best. I focus solely on the cost per conversion, and I also look at the conversion rate as well, but the cost per conversion is more important to me. We can see here, care agency at home, for example, our overall cost per conversion is $31.50. This is double in this case. Although usually there's not really enough clicks for me to make a decision. Usually after 7 or 8 clicks, then I make a decision. Even though the conversion rate's good, 20%, we get a higher search impression share. We're not losing a lot. This is a keyword that if money's especially tight, we would definitely I would pause. So we can pause it. I'm going to keep it enabled right now because I know this keyword is pretty good. But in some cases, you would want to pause it overall. And then I also look at the overall costs. Where is that? I also like to look at the costs. So if you don't see any column that you want to look at here, go into columns, modify column. I go into the performance. Oh, so cost is there. So let's move it up. Also, if you're running a manual CPC, you want to look at the estimated top of page and first position bid to make sure you are bidding enough for those keywords that are working well for you. But we're doing automated bidding for this current campaign because we were able to generate enough conversions very fast within the month. I'm doing maximized conversions with a target CPA. So I also like to look at the cost, and I can see, okay, what things have high costs that are maybe driving down the campaign. So for example, this keyword, home care agency in Georgia, there were 10 clicks overall. It cost us $101, but it led to no conversions. So that is an immediate pause in my book overall. And yeah, so even though, this costs a lot, but guys, 3 conversions, a cost per conversion of $34. So we can keep that going for now. If you do want to further optimize on keywords, what you can also look at is the quality score, and you can see, okay, I have some keywords have really good quality scores. 8 out of 10, which is very good. Usually I get 5 and 6 out of 10, so 8 out of 10 is very good, which can be contributing to the fact that overall our cost per conversion is very good. But again, I don't focus on this. I focus on the cost per conversion, and usually if you do that, if you focus on a good cost per conversion, everything else should follow suit and overall be good. But for example, here, I have a below average here for the words caregivers in me. So what I could do is make sure my ad relevance is a little bit better. So include more headlines with the words caregiver in me. And of course, you want to especially look at the search terms. Make sure the search terms actually match the what you advertise for. And if you're getting a specific keyword that's giving you a lot of kind of bad search terms, so for example, home care near me, gave us a competitor name, so we just always want to exclude that. If you see that's a common pattern with a keyword, it's just better to pause it overall. But if it happens 1 or 2 times, just exclude it. But if it's happening, set like a lot of times, and you're seeing a bunch of competitor names or keyword or names that like don't make sense for your business, just pause the keyword because it's not bringing you the leads that you want it to lead. And of course, you want to look at the conversions that the keywords brought you, and you want to say, okay, like this one, yes, it did bring us a conversion, but it's not. We don't. It's not. We're not an adult care facility. We're a home care facility. We're a home care business. So this doesn't match. So we want to exclude it. Um, Here with home health agency, this keyword, overall is pretty good. So we want to keep that in place there. And this all assumes that you have conversion tracking set up. If you don't have conversion tracking set up, it's going to be very hard for you to optimize for what's working with Google Ads. So I'm going to make a video that's going to talk about how to set up conversion tracking. So keep an eye on my channel, subscribe, of course, so that way you get notified when you get a video, when there's a video on that. Another thing that you can look at that a lot of people don't usually do is the locations. So you don't want to just look at the targeted locations and look at the counties. So for example, you want to see, okay, which locations are doing good, but not only that, you want to see, okay, yes, Newton County is doing good, but let's go into the cities. What cities are doing good, and see if we can optimize here. So we can see here, Oxford hasn't really gotten much, so there's not enough data for us to make a decision. So we don't want to do anything there. And in this case, Broward County, this one has the highest cost per conversion. We can look at the postal codes to get even more granular. We can see here that the cost per conversion $52 is coming here. There's still really not enough data, and cost per conversion of $52 is still pretty good. So I'm going to keep that in my case. But if we really wanted to be stringent, we would exclude the location. And here, for example, there's not enough data because like with Clark County, but the cost here is $40. If a couple more days, a couple more weeks, we saw that it's getting more clicks but not enough conversions. Of course, we would want to remove or exclude the location. For now, I did that for one area, Rockdale County, because I saw that it was driving up the costs, but the conversions weren't there, so I had to cut it off. So you can see, guys, even with like a 30% conversion rate campaign, there are still ways we could optimize this campaign to perform even better. Another thing that people can look at is the ad schedule, seeing, okay, what days working really well and what days aren't. So for example, for this campaign, Mondays, our cost per conversion is pretty high so far. But the other days are pretty good. You can see that our Fridays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are kind of making up for it. But on Mondays and Tuesdays, our costs are pretty high. So what we may want to do is either, exclude those days, maybe see what happens if you run it on weekends. Or if you want to get even more granular, we can look at the day and hour. Because maybe there's a day and hour that, okay, so for example here, Monday, 4 to 5 p.m., $25 cost per conversion, 33% conversion rate, that's good. So maybe we want to just limit the hours that have a high cost per conversion or have a high cost overall. So for example here, Wednesdays 2 to 3 p.m., we may just want to pause our ads. So adjust the ad schedule so that way it's not showing at this time. And then maybe try running ads on the weekends and stuff like that, see if that performs better. So if you want to be like very stringent on when your ads show and only show your ads at the best time possible, you can do this. But if you have automated bidding set up, it already kind of takes these factors into account. So I wouldn't not really worry about that too much. And then the next thing you want to do is look at the devices. So in my case, computer and desktop is doing pretty good. I always have tablets set at minus 100%. And the cost per conversion is around the same, $30. Conversion rate slightly higher on mobile, but if you saw that one was not doing as good as the other, you know what to do. Pause it, and so those are some like quick things you can do to optimize the campaign. And you want to make sure that your dollars during this recession is going pretty good. And of course, with the keywords, if you're setting up a Google Ads campaign, you only want to find the most high intent keywords. For me, it's usually like the location. If the location plus your service is in the keyword, usually that performs very well because that means that there's intent. But you want to make sure you're not doing anything that's too broad. So, for example, just the word home care, that would not be a good keyword. But home care near me is a lot better of a keyword example. If you're electrician near me is a very good example. The near me's are always pretty good. Um, or like something else, if it's an action, like, oh, I need home care or I need electrician. Those keywords usually do very well because they're showing that the intent is I need that service. So when it comes to choosing the best keywords, you want to think of, okay, if I type this keyword, what am I searching for? So if I type in the keyword home care services in Georgia, I am trying to find home care services in Georgia. So that's my intent. So my intent is to inquire about home care services, not really to learn about it, but to find an agency that can do that for me. So just keep that in mind as well. Okay, so the next thing, so now you can look at the ads. I'm not going to go too much in detail with them because they would reveal, like more client personal information. But what I will say is, look at the cost per conversion, make sure it's good. Here, I kind of do like looking at the click-through rate because a better click-through rate on the ads means that my ads are more appealing. And, the conversion rate and cost per conversion is pretty good. Here, it is somewhat higher and lower conversion rate, so we could do some work here if we really wanted to. You can always go on view asset details, and how I do it is usually the assets with the lowest impressions I would want to change. So in this case, get peace of mind, home help. Maybe I would want to change that overall because it's not working. This ad got disapproved, so I definitely would want to change that. You can also look at the combinations just to see, okay, what combination's showing the most. So look at the combinations, see how that's working for you, and you can see here what's appealing to people, so that way you can make more ads that are related to this overall theme overall, right? And another big thing is kind of with the keywords, but just make sure you don't have too many keywords. I see a lot of people have like hundreds and hundreds of keywords. You can see with this account, we have less than 195 keywords in all. But if you look at just the enabled keywords, I think it's around 80. So especially like if you're running on like a pretty small tight budget, make sure you don't have to target every single keyword. Again, start with around 100 keywords and dwindle down from there. From the search terms, you're going to get more keyword ideas you can expand upon. So keep that in mind as well with the keywords. And then I also like to look at the recommendations, see what Google does recommend. Keep in mind that Google wants to make the most money as possible, so take these recommendations with a grain of salt and make sure that you think them through. So, okay, will this actually lead to more conversions? So, for example, here with broad match, upgrade everything to broad match. I've tried it before. It's hit or miss, mostly miss for the most part, so I don't usually do it. Another thing that I've tried doing is hitting the like button, and that usually improves my app performance greatly. I think it's the best thing I've ever done, just in all honesty. And Google Search Partners, I usually never have on. Even every time I have it on, it gets clicks for a cheap rate, but no conversions. Again, conversions makes us money. Clicks don't, so I always have them on. But if you're finding that your impressions are low, something that you can definitely try out and see if it works for you. For me, it hasn't, but just because it hasn't worked for me doesn't mean it can't work for you. And one more thing that we can look at, but I don't really recommend making changes to this because these could really derail a campaign, is looking at your audience. So we can see our audience here. I always arrange it by cost and conversions. And then you can see here that, for example, for this ad group, 65 plus, our cost per conversion is $70. Usually, this, like, for example, anyone 65 plus, they would want home care services. So I don't try to make too many changes here. Usually I wait after 2 to 3 months of data before I make any drastic changes here. And if I do, I keep track of that by looking at the change history. And if you ever make a change that has derailed a campaign, you can always go to the change history, see the changes you make, and definitely undo them. And hopefully it can get your campaign right back on track. So that is a quick overview of how to run Google Ads during a recession. We just want to make sure that we're not running anything that's wasting our money. So if you want to know how to set up a high converting profitable Google Ads campaign, I have a video up there that's going to describe how to do just exactly that. And that way you can start off right off the gate with a good campaign that even during recession can still bring you in some leads. So I'll see you guys in that video.